Hey guys, how are you? How are you? How are you? This is Shalina Diva, the purpose driven diva. I'm a life and business coach who loves to show you how to discover, invest, value, and appreciate your life and business. All right. So normally I do the Biz Lab, which is Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I bring you a business lesson, and it's a full out lesson. We're usually on here for about 90 minutes, and it's a ton of value. There's on the spot coaching. But I wanted to actually come to you this evening because I just had some things on my heart that I wanted to share. So this isn't like my formal Biz Lab video. So hello to those of you who are joining me. I hope that you are able to find some value in what I'm about to share. And I really wanted to encourage anyone who is struggling with really caring a lot about what other people think about you. Okay, here's the deal. If you're not careful, you will listen to the wrong people. You will listen to the wrong information. And guess what? You're going to take the wrong kind of action. Okay, so I just wanted to do this quick YouTube live just to inspire someone, just to encourage someone. Okay, if you're setting out to do anything worthy, anything notable, I don't care if it's losing weight, I don't care if it's finding a new home, getting a new job, launching a new business, you have to be careful about who you share your dreams with, who you share your goals with, and who you listen to. Okay, you must be careful about all of those things, because many times the people who are in your immediate inner circle, unless they're already doing what you want to do, unless they've already been, and unless they already traveled to where you want to go, guess what? They're not going to give you the best advice. They're not even going to understand where you're coming from, and they may really truly end up discouraging you. Why? Because you hold them in high regard, you hold them in high esteem, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to listen to this person because you think that they know. Here's the deal, and just hear me out on this one. Anyone who discourages you from going after your dreams and for going after your goals, off the bat, you really shouldn't share your dreams or your goals with that person. And I know it's kind of like intuitive, right? Like, well, don't share your dreams and don't share your goals with that person. But I'm here to tell you, a lot of times we take that advice, we take that criticism, and we shut down. I had a client who recently came to me, and she told me how last year she allowed the negative advice from people who were close to her to stop her from going after her dreams. And it wasn't until a couple of months after she stopped, she was in one of my programs, it wasn't until after she stopped that she realized that, you know what? Had I kept going, had I pushed through my own self-doubt, had I pushed through my own fears, had I not listened to that person, I would be so much further along. This person wanted to write a book about a subject that was near and dear to her. So there were several things going on with her, but it's the fact that, now she's able to be honest, and she's like, listen, for one, I was listening to negative people. If you are someone and you're watching and you've had that before, you shared a dream or a goal that you're really interested in, you shared it with someone, and then they totally just demolished your dream. If you can relate to that, I want you to type dream in the chat box. Type dream in the comments. So you had this dream, you had this goal, and then you shared it with someone, and after sharing it with someone, they just demolished your little dreams and your goals. If that's you, type that in the comments. Type dream in the comments. So she listened to this person. She listened to what they had to say. It was negative and it discouraged her. But at the end of the day, she and you and I, we're still responsible with what we do with criticism, with what we do with negative things that people have to say. Someone can say something negative, but it doesn't mean that you have to totally shut down. It doesn't mean that you have to listen to them. So for one, she internalized that negativity. That's the first mistake she made. The second thing is, she actually believed it, and because she believed it, she decided to walk away from her dreams and goals. That's the second mistake, because remember, it doesn't matter, what other people have to say or what other people think. This is your dream. This is your goal. This is your vision. So had she not had self-doubt, had she not been wavering, like, she would have heard what the people said, but then she would have just went ahead and said, you know what? It doesn't matter what they say. I'm still going to keep going on, right? That's what she would have done. So she shut down. She walked away from her dream. Then a couple months later, she was watching TV, and it was a popular TV show. And guess what? They were talking about the topic that she was going to write a book about. I help my clients to articulate their messages and put them into products and services that people can, buy from them. And one of those products is a book. So she was supposed to be working on this book about a subject that was near and dear to her. But because she listened to friends, she put the book down. She stopped, she stopped working on it, and she walked away. It wasn't until a couple months later that she saw this popular TV show. They were talking about exactly what her book topic is. And you know what? She was like sick. She was like, oh my goodness, like, that's what I was going to write about. So the other thing that she was dealing with, right, is that a lot of times we don't believe in our own goals. We don't believe in our dreams, our visions. We're quick to believe in someone else's, but we don't believe in our own dreams and visions. Okay, we don't believe in ourselves. And many times, those of you who are very creative, or those of you who are like me, you want to start your own companies and you just want to do something in the world, right? It's usually based around what your gift or talent is. A big mistake that we make is because something comes to us so easily, because something it comes to us easily, because we can do it with our eyes closed, because we know it like the back of our hands, we dismiss that and we don't think that it has any value. Like that client of mine, she didn't think that what she loved so much, what she wanted to share with the world, she didn't think it had any value simply because she loved it so much, simply because it came to her easily. If you can relate to that, I want you to type love in the comments. I'm going to pop over here on the comments and check you guys out, but type love in the comments, okay? Type love, because many times, because something comes to us easily, because we love to do it so much, we tend to discount ourselves. We tend to discount the vision. And because you do that, if you're discounting something, if you don't think it has that much value, how can a world think it has much value? And it isn't until we see someone else doing it. It isn't until, let's just say you're into fashion. It isn't until you see a design that is just like yours, is similar to yours in stores, you see celebrities rocking it. It isn't until you see, a couple months down the road, let's just say you started losing weight and then you drop off and you stop. It isn't until a couple months down the road where you're like, man, the summer's here. Had I just stuck with it, you know what I mean? I could be so much further along. But so many times, like, we just discount ourselves and we discount our visions. And it isn't until we see someone else rocking it. It isn't until we see it being in the news. It isn't until like outside people begin to validate it that we're like, oh, so it really is a big deal. Let me tell you something. If you want to make a big impact in life, if you want to help a lot of people, if you want to earn a lot of money, you cannot wait until the outside world validates whatever it is that you want to do. You cannot do that. That's not being a leader. Being a leader is taking steps even when you don't see the whole path, but you believe. It's about believing in your gifts, believing in your talents, believing in yourself enough to put forth an effort. It's about protecting your dreams and your goals and having wisdom about who you can share stuff with and who you can't share it with. Because I tell you, when it comes to me, most people are on an as need to know basis, which means if you are not involved with helping me to bring this to pass or to help me to do this, you're on an as need to know basis. You will find out via YouTube, you will find out via social media, Facebook or whatever when I'm done. Other than that, you don't belong in my business. If you're not helping me in my business, to handle my business, you don't belong in my business. Some of you need to stop telling people all of your business all of the time, because you're usually not telling the right kinds of people who can actually help you. Now, if I'm talking to somebody, and if you guys hear me, then I want you to tell me that you hear me. I want you to tell me that, you can relate to that. So I'm trying to pull up these comments, y'all. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up some of these comments. If you can relate, type relate in the comments. Like, look, Diva, I can relate to what you're saying. Let me go over here and see if I can pull up these comments. So y'all give me a second, okay? But I'm just tired of that. If you're tired of that in your life, right? I want you to realize that you don't have to tolerate that. You don't have to keep relying upon, getting everyone's buy-in or giving everyone's okay, especially in the beginning. All right, you don't have to do that. So if you're in the comments, I'm trying to find these comments here. If you're in the comments, leave me a comment and let me know where you are. I can't see these comments. Just like last time, I couldn't see the comments. But I just want to encourage you and inspire you. Like, look, you don't have to sit up here and, wait for someone else to tell you that now is a good time for you to go ahead and for you to pursue your dreams, your goals, and your visions. I promise you, you do not have to wait for that. And if you're waiting for that, guess what? You may wait an entire lifetime, because there's so many people who, simply because they don't believe in themselves, they're not going to encourage you. They're not going to inspire you. So you just have to have courage to go out there and to really do it. So those of you who are just joining me, I normally don't do lives like this during the week. I usually do it for the Biz Lab on Sundays at 8 p.m. But I really had this on my heart to share it with you. So I've been asking some of you to leave me comments in the chat. So I'm going to head on over there and check out some of your comments, because I love the comments. I love to, give some on the spot coaching, because it'll be what you need to hear. And if it is, it's my duty, it's my job, is what I love to do, is to coach and to serve. All right, so I have rolling with me. All right, so you all can relate to what I'm saying. If there's someone here and you're still watching, right? If you're still watching, I want you to put some questions, any questions you want to have that you want to ask me. Just go right ahead. You got to put them in the chat. That's the only way I'm going to be able to see it. And I know Brittany, she's like, when it comes to her dream and things that she loves, she tends to devalue it and to discount it. So Brittany, if you want to talk more about that, fine. Jaleesa, Blanco, hello. How are you? I'm Rachel. I'm so glad that you are enjoying this. But if anyone has any questions, if anyone has any comments, just make sure you leave them in the chat, because I love this on-the-spot coaching. It may really just be what you need. So just to sum all this up, because like I said, I don't normally do lives during the week. I may start, but what I'm saying to you is stop allowing other people's opinions of you to stop you from achieving your goals and achieving your dreams. It's just not worth it. It is so not worth it. And I want you to cut it out. I really want you to cut it out, because people who truly believe in you, they won't discourage you. And then on top of that, on top of, stop listening to other people. Remember, their opinions of you don't matter as much as you think that they do. I promise you, they don't matter as much as you think that they do. And the opinion whose matters the most is yours. So you really have to start believing in yourself. You have to start having more courage. You have to start trying harder, dig your heels in. And I tell you, anything that's worthy of you, anything that's worthwhile, I want you to really go ahead, go for it. I really want you to grab it. I really want you to just do it. You know what I mean? Just be it and just do it. Okay, so I'm waiting to see if we have any comments that are coming in, because if we do, I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And some of you have just joined me. So I'm talking about, how do you deal with negative people and the negative behavior that they put out there, especially if it's people that you admire, and they kind of demolish your dreams, you know what I mean? And they kind of shortchange you. At the end of the day, though, you must realize something. It still falls on you. It's your responsibility to birth your dream. It's your responsibility to carry out that dream. It's on you. So you have to learn how to deal with these kind of people. And let's be honest, there are going to be times, right, where someone's going to deliver something. You're not going to like their delivery, but they're going to be telling you the truth. Because everybody who criticizes you, everybody who has something to say, it's not all negative and it's not all false. And it's not just them simply hating on you. So you have to become mature enough to be like, you know what? All right, I didn't like how she said it, but I'm mature enough to look at what she said. Take out what applies and the rest let it fly. Become mature enough. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's where you have to get to that point, because everybody isn't hating on you. And something I've come to realize, like as in this week, right? I'm such a kumbaya person. I love everybody. I want to see everybody succeed. I want everybody to love me. I had a wake-up call, and it's like, listen, if you're out there doing anything worthy, right? If you're out there going after your dreams, if you're out there doing anything worthy, people are going to talk about you. People are going to criticize you. It's a part of the territory. That is not a green light for you to stop working on your dreams. It's not a green light for you to back away. It's actually a chance for you, like I said, assess. What did they say? What did this person say? Does it have any validity to it? Can you learn something from it? Can it make you better? If it can, take what they say, apply it, and let the rest fly. If you validated it and it doesn't make any sense, do not internalize it and keep it moving. Keep it moving and just go your way. And a lot of times we miss out on a lot of blessings because, listen, everybody doesn't know how to talk to people. Everybody doesn't know how to say stuff. So you have to sometimes, many times, look past how they said it and look at what they said. Does it apply or should you let it fly? And that's where maturity comes in. And so everybody who says something about you or talks about you is not all false. Some of that stuff could be valid, and it takes a wise person to be like, you know what? I'm actually going to kind of listen to what they say, because guess what? It's going to make you better. And in fact, I had that happen to me a few weeks ago. Somebody really came at my neck, like very hard. It was on some disrespectful stuff. It was very shocking. But the mature part of me said, you know what? I don't agree with about 80, 90% of what this person is saying. Some of it was bogus, but about 10% of that person was right. And I took it. And like I said, it was like, oh my God, this person came at my neck on some old crazy disrespectful stuff. But I looked at what the person had to say, and I said, you know what? She's right in that aspect. And because she's right, I'm just going to take what she said. I'm going to apply it to myself. And guess what? It made me like 1,000 times better. So I'm grateful that I had that experience. I'm more grateful that I didn't just tune it out, that I didn't just say, oh, she's a hater or whatever. I took what applied and I let the rest fly. And it's made me so much better. It's made me better in my business. It's made me more valuable. So everybody who has something negative to say, it's not hating. But the thing is, I don't care if what they said, how they said it was like crazy. You have to get to the point where you can't let words crush your dreams. You can't let words crush your hustle. You have to get out of that, because if that's all it takes, all it's going to take is for somebody to say something negative to you and you're just going to fall apart. How can you lead someone? How can you lead a company? How can you lead a family? Forget all of that. How can you lead yourself if all somebody has to do is say something, one or two words that are negative, and you're falling apart? What can you really do? So yeah, okay, take what they say, evaluate it, and then you keep it moving. I'm gonna go over here and see if you guys have any questions for me, because I love this on the spot coaching. All right, so yes, I actually have some more of you actually here on the line. So Michael says, that's so true. Michael Ann, that's so true. Not everybody is a hater. Some people are telling the truth about some things. That is so true. So thank you for that, Michael Ann. Yes, and oh, Talk Party TV. I like that name, Talk Party. Hey, okay, all right. I digress. All right, so says, good work. Keep it up. You're on point. Look forward to connecting in the near future. Sending positive vibes. Thank you so much. So Brittany is saying, yes. Anyone with any, listen, you want some on-the-spot coaching, this is what I'm here for. I was over on Facebook, and I said, let me pop over to YouTube. And I know I'm usually here just on Sundays, but listen, I want you all to believe in yourselves. I want you all to really just go for it. And you can't go for it by always being so hurt by what people are saying. And the more you show up, the bigger you show up, the more you go after your dreams, expect the haters. Like people you didn't even think were haters will come out and start talking about you. People you thought were your friends will start stabbing you in the back. But that's a sign that you're moving in the right direction and for you to keep going. That's why you need to have community. That's why you need to be surrounded around people who walk that path, who know what you can expect, and to encourage you, keep going. Far too often we try to do it all by ourselves. We try to do it alone. Stop that, because you think just having a plan is going to make you successful. The plan is only good as long as everything you wrote down works out. What about if there's a bottleneck? What if there's like a kink? Then what do you do? That's why you need, a support, masterminds. That's why I'm really big on groups. And that's why I started my group, Laptop, Wi-Fi, and Celly. It's predominantly for women entrepreneurs. But if men want to join, you can join Laptop, Wi-Fi, and Celly too. It's to stay connected. It's to stay empowered. It's to share resources. Stop trying to go it alone. And then if you're the only one in your family or close friends who's on your path, you are in trouble. And you are in for a bumpy ride, because they're not going to get you. All right. So, Yes, so Garcia, I do YouTube, they're called the Biz Lab, Sundays at 8 p.m. You get a business strategy and some on-the-spot coaching. In January, the month of January, we have been talking about mindset because as a life coach, I realized like, wait a minute, I can give you a treasure map to making 6 figures a year or whatever, but if your mind isn't right, if your mindset isn't right, you're not going to pull it off. So we've been spending Sunday on mindset, how to set sexy goals. I only set sexy goals, okay? Because you need a goal that's going to like make you want to get up in the morning and work on them. You know, when things get rough, you still want to go after them. Those are sexy goals, okay? So I talked about that. I talked about how to get unstuck. So many people are just stuck. We talked about that. And then we talked about ownership last Sunday. And what that is about is, you know, it was how to stop being broken. That was the video. What that one was about is like, you know, questioning why is it that people who lose a lot of weight, they still think they're fat and they still act fat and then they end up gaining the weight back? Or why is it new homeowners don't think that they don't feel safe and secure in their new homes? A lot of times it's because people have not taken ownership. Like, this is yours. No one can take it from you. No one can come into your home and take it from you unless it's like getting not repossessed. What is it? Foreclosed. But that's because you weren't handling your business. You know what I mean? Paying the bills. But people who think, oh, you know, someone's going to come in and take what I have. Whether it's a relationship, you know, let's just say you were in a bad relationship before and you meet this new guy or girl and you have these trust issues because you feel like something's going to go wrong. You haven't taken ownership of your present circumstances and conditions. So that one was a really good one. If you come to my channel, you subscribe. It's those videos are under the business tab, but it's called the Biz Lab. So all right. So I have some comments here. Okay, that's a good one, Katrina. That's a good one. All right. So hold on. Happy New Year. God bless you. I'm feeling too old and broke down physically to pursue anything. That's me always falling apart. Oh my goodness. Listen, PM, I talked about this recently. It's never too late. As long as you have that goal, that dream, desire, it's never too late. Remember Colonel Sanders? He founded the 7 herbs and spices, I think in his late 60s. So you're never too old and you're never too broke down. So that right there is something I want you to work on. You're never too old. Yes, and we will connect Talk Party TV. And Katrina asked a great question. She says, how do you not cry when your feelings are hurt? Cry. Cry. I never said you couldn't cry. Cry. Let me tell you, when I used to deal with my son's father in and out of family court, oh my goodness, I got upset with myself one day because I cried. I was like, every time I got finished talking to him, it was like he would just do stuff, but he knew which buttons to push, right? And I would cry. My big sister would be like, stop crying, you know, stop crying, and you're stronger than that. And that would make me cry because I was like, okay, I'm not strong. I'm like, okay, I'm not strong because I'm crying. Heck no, that is not true. I would rather you cry and get it out of your system than for you to hold it in. Now, and this is a practice. This is something you practice every day, right? In the beginning, somebody may say something and you might boo-hoo right then and there. That does not make you weak. It does not make you cry. You are owning your feelings, right? But the more you practice, you know, and emotional intelligence, the more you practice being in control, and like what I discovered, and this is, I'm able to deal with my son's father so much better, is at first I'll break down and cry. I'll be visibly upset. I read a book by Deepak Chopra called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and he talked about really owning my emotions and realizing that things only meant what I wanted them to mean. So like when my son's father would do things that were hurtful, it was because I defined them as being hurtful. It was because I said myself, that's hurtful. That might sound really counterintuitive, but once I started realizing that I control my emotions, that like you can say something mean and nasty to me, but I don't have to cry. I don't have to respond in the normal way. And so what happened is I started really getting more into myself and like into learning how to respond instead of reacting. And then I was like, you know what? He said something that was really dumb and smart and stupid, but guess what? I choose not to interpret it that way. And although you're trying to be smart, I'm not even going to read it that way. I'm not even going to look at it that way. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. And so, but it took practice. And then it got to a point where he said things that in the past would have broke me down. And I just like stood there flat footed, like, okay. So, all right. Like, I mean, I didn't know what else I don't know what else he wanted me to say. I mean, what did you want me to do? And then it was just like, oh, wait a minute. She didn't respond, you know, and then it's like people used to poking your buttons. It's like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't get her upset anymore. And the thing is, it's not so much that, oh, you know, I'm not upset anymore. It's not so much that. It's just that I've learned that I don't have to respond to you the way that you want me to. People can do mean, nasty, and ignorant things to you, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to allow them to get under your skin. That's where practicing and that's where maturity comes in. So if you got to cry in the beginning, then cry. But you begin to get to a point where it's like, okay, you try to be really dumb and smart, but I'm not even buying it. And that's where they say that's where you take your power back. And as women, that's where you get your voice at. You know, it's just like, wait a minute, hold up, whatever. And then people don't know how to handle you. Now they're like, wait a minute, I used to say this and she'd be all mad. Because, you know, some people will intentionally pick a fight with you because they know your buttons to push. But then once you stop letting them push your buttons, they don't know how to handle you. So I hope that has helped you. And I will actually do a video on that about controlling your emotions. And it's so when you get to that point, you are so much more powerful, and people don't know what to do with you. Okay, so I hope that has solved. I hope that has answer that question for you. So another question is, what advice would you give to an introvert? So lovely, is it Kian? Lovely Kian, thank you so much for asking that question. Just like anything, like, believe it or not, I was so afraid to get on YouTube initially when I first did my first videos about 4 years ago. And then with my things in my life happening and being homeless and all of that, and then being away from YouTube for so long, I was afraid to get back on YouTube because I was like, oh my gosh, the people are going to forget me. I don't know how they're going to react to me. Are people going to even pay me any attention? I didn't know, but I did it anyway. And that's my advice to anyone if you're an introvert. You can change that. And like, you can change that by, for one, I would say, do things that make you feel uncomfortable. For example, networking. A great way for introverts to network is to get on Eventbrite, and in your community, in your city, find events that you are really interested in. Because if you're an introvert and you're just going to willy-nilly networking events you have no interest in, it will be a horrifying experience for you because you're not going to be interested in the people. You're not going to be interested in anything. So why do that to yourself? It's like reading a book, right? And you have no interest. You're probably going to take forever to read that book. You'll probably never finish it. But as an introvert, go to eventbrite.com. I want you to find at least 2 live events that you can attend. Let them be free. That's about something you're interested in. There's also meetup.com. Find a meetup group that you're interested in and push yourself. Go to a live networking event on Eventbrite. Push yourself to talk to at least 3 people. Say hello, how are you? Introduce yourself. Don't overdo it, but do that. And I want you to try to go to two a month. And you will see that by you putting yourself out there, you're really going to begin really learn that this is a skill. And you're just going to do it, and you're going to feel more comfortable. Now, the other thing with the meetup, that's like you can have a community where you're kind of forced to talk to people, and you'll realize it's not that bad. But once again, it has to be something that you're interested in. Also, too, doing videos. Believe it or not, if you're an introvert, videos seem scary to introverts, but do a video. Put yourself out there. And even on YouTube, make it private or make it unlisted, but just do it. See yourself. See how you come across to other people. And those are things you can work on. These are all skills. And the more you do something, the better you become. So I hope that has helped you. But being an introvert, you have to put yourself out there. And even in personal relationships, you have to start speaking up. Like, I had to find my voice after I left my son's father and begin to stand up for myself and not let him or anybody else walk all over me. but I went through some trials and tribulations, but now I found my voice. I speak up for myself. And there are a lot of things I'm doing now that I didn't think I could do before, but you just got to do it. Put yourself out there. So I hope that that has helped Kayanne with some advice that you have. Anybody have any more questions? Wait, I actually have some more. And something about constructive criticism. Hold on. Okay, so Garcia, watch the video on getting unstuck. All right, so another question I have is, how do you get focused when you are so tired and overworked? Great question. Katrina, you have family, work, yourself. Okay, Katrina has a lot going on. She has her family, she has her work, she has herself, she has no time or energy. I love questions like this, Katrina. I love it, I love it, I love it. Here's why I love it. Because you are probably someone, who doesn't take out time for yourself. And I know you're like, but I don't, hear me out. And this is something that I discussed on one of my videos and one of my biz labs, and the viewers watching were like, listen, can you do a video on that? And so you guys are actually giving me a lot of great feedback for shorter videos that I will do, and I'm rolling them out in February. Katrina, I would advise you to start a morning ritual. A morning ritual is simply, in the beginning, waking up an extra half an hour to an hour earlier. And I know you're going to say, but girl, I just told you I'm tired. At some point, you're going to have to break the cycle. I'm telling you, wake up, start waking up half an hour to an hour earlier than the rest of the house. Before the kids, before your husband, before anything else, wake up half an hour to an hour earlier. I forget the stats on this, but when you do that, when you wake up half an hour to an hour early consistently, you gain about an extra month worth of time that nobody else has. You know, we all have 24 hours in a day, but when you strategically get up half an hour earlier, I forget the math on that. I'll come back when I do the video, but you give yourself like an extra month worth of time. In the beginning, it's going to be hard. You're going to be like, that Shalina is crazy. I can't believe I listened to her. In the beginning, it's going to be rough. But when you wake up that half an hour, I want you to have an agenda. First thing I want you to do when you wake up that half an hour, I want you to give thanks and be grateful. Whether you pray to God, whether you have a journal. I'm really big on having like a journal where you can write down what you're grateful for. I need you to be grateful and start your morning with gratitude. Give God, you know, and I have a lot of people who follow me. Give God, give the creator, whomever you follow, give them the first fruits of your life. And that means your first thoughts before you speak to anyone, you know, giving thanks, giving praise. I want you to usher gratitude into your life, because when you have gratitude, it really opens the door. Then I want you to learn how to breathe. Take nice deep breaths. We don't breathe. We do not breathe. I want you to begin to take some nice deep breaths, because when you take those nice deep breaths, it just does something to your cells, and it just helps you to get into just a better state. So I want you, you can either do it in your mind mentally with gratitude, but I would love for you to write down at least 20 things you're grateful for. 20, I know it's a stretch, but at least 20 things. I want you taking deep breaths. I want you breathing. I then want you to, you have to do something in the 3 areas, something for your mind, your body, and your soul. So if your soul, if that's praying, then I want you to pray. For your body, if after, you know, you do your gratitude and your breathing, you want to go for a jog or get on your elliptical, you can do that. Or what I started to do is I did a lemon water challenge for like 21 days. What I would do when it became part of my ritual is I would make sure I had the lemon water prepared and I would drink it on an empty stomach. That took care of my body. And I ate regularly throughout the day. I didn't just drink lemon water. I didn't do that. I'm not proposing that. But that's how I took care of my body, right? And then in my mind, I would read something that inspired me, that encouraged me, right? Or I want you to listen to something. That way it helps you in your mind, your body, and your soul. And you do this in the first, like, you know, in the first 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so. Then anything you're saying you're tired, you're saying, how can you work on your dreams or get focused when you're tired? I want you to spend those last 10 minutes or so working on whatever dream or goal that you have. And you know you have to make it fit in them 30 minutes, and hopefully you can get to an hour, because why? The kids have to get up. You got to get them ready. So now you're budgeting your time, right? So that's how you really begin to launch your mornings, and you start to create rituals. Some people it'll be music, some people it'll be candles, some people it'll be reading. You customize it to whatever you want it to be. So then you take that extra time. What if you wanted to write a book? Do you know how much you can get accomplished in 10 minutes of you just hitting it every single day? You will bang that book out before you know it. What if it's a project or something you're working on? Because you're dedicating minutes to it every single morning, you will get a lot done. Now, getting focused and making sure that you're not squandering your time. I always tell my clients on Sundays, we do something called setting your sails, where it's like on Sunday, you decide this week, I'm going to focus on this project or do this thing right here. And then every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, each day you break down a piece of that project, a chunk of that project that you're going to work on. That way you're not overwhelmed. That way you're not, cramming everything in. So we call that Set Your Sail Sunday. And I believe that's why I do the Biz Lab on Sundays, because you get a chance to set your sail, decide what it is that you're going to do for that week. And you learn how to strategically break things down. I do not believe in multitasking, and I don't like cramming. So you begin to spread things out. So someone who has a family, someone who has a lot going on, you'll be fine. You'll get a lot of stuff done if you approach it this way. And my last point to this also is the night before, you should be planning the next day. So, okay, I'm waking up half an hour earlier. This is what I'm going to read. This is what I'm going to do for my body. This is what I'm going to do for my soul. This is what I'm going to work on. And then, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. And begin to schedule it. Even on things like Google Calendar, begin to schedule things. And my thing is this, if it's not scheduling, I probably won't do it. But you could begin to get to that point because it will help you to focus. And a lot of times we're not focused because we're scared, or we're trying to work on 50 million things at once. But in order to be effective and to be focused, you really need to become laser sharp and just do one thing at a time and be okay with that. Do one thing and finish it. Usually people who are not focused, they don't finish. They start and stop, and they rarely finish anything. So I hope that has helped you. I hope that has helped you with those questions. So somebody asked about constructive criticism. I don't quite know what the question is. So if you want to feel free to ask more questions, go right ahead and do that. So if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to hop off of here because this was really just me testing this out, kind of just hopping on here because this isn't the Biz Lab, where I usually have a whole presentation. I just really wanted to get on here and encourage someone. And I really, truly enjoyed the on-the-spot coaching, and I enjoyed the questions. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you share me with people, okay? I really want to do so much on YouTube, and I really want this to be a place where you're inspired, where you're encouraged, where you really go after your dreams, especially if one of those dreams is to spread your message, build an online business. Wait until you see the resources that I'm going to be rolling out. And like I said, I plan to start releasing my shorter videos that you're probably used to, but I'm going to keep the live portion because like on Sundays, I love the on-the-spot coaching. People that I probably would have never spoken to in my life, we can communicate via YouTube Live. I really love it, okay? So make sure you follow me on the Biz Lab. Make sure you tune in. It's 8 p.m. on Sundays. If you found value, if you enjoyed this, type value in the comments because that'll let me know that I need to be doing this more often. Just popping on here, kind of like your girlfriend, that gives you the good advice, or your girlfriend that listens, or she challenges you. Let me know, type value in the comments, and I will be doing these kind of like pop-up YouTube Lives. I'll be doing them more often, and so you make sure, if you subscribe, make sure you get the notifications, all right? If you found value, that is awesome. So you can, if you want to join my group for women entrepreneurs, men, you can join too. I'm going to type how you can go there and how you can find this, and it's also going to be in a description box. So make sure you come back and you leave a comment and you let me know. So I just gave you the link to where you can join my free group for women entrepreneurs, where I give you great resources. All right, so I'm glad that you have all found value. I really truly appreciate it. If you found value, make sure you subscribe, make sure you get the notifications turned on, and make sure you share, like and share this video. Okay, if I don't have any more questions, then I'm going to hop off of here. I really, truly enjoyed this evening. All right, you guys. So one last time, does anybody have any question? If you want to get some on-the-spot coaching, I'm here. I'm here for you. So make sure you go ahead and you type it. So I know that I'm just going to give you guys a few more seconds to do that. If that's what you want to do, I will be more than happy to do that. All right. All right. So I really appreciate everybody for hanging in here with me. And like I said, you really encourage me with your responses, because it's just going to encourage me to want to do more of these. And I will do some more. I know I go live on Sundays, but I plan to actually have a really great challenge coming up in February. It's about self-love. I'm not going to give it away, but ladies, it's going to blow you away. Some of you, you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what my life is like. You're going to learn more about that, but you're going to learn what I learned and how I went from having it all to losing it, becoming homeless for 2 years and being broken and being brokenhearted, to how I built myself up to the kind of my 6-figure company that I have. I'm not bitter. I'm not mean. I'm not nasty. I'm going to create a challenge, and it's going to be based here on YouTube every night. I'm going to bring you a new challenge, something for you to work on. Those of you who are dealing with still being bitter, those of you who are dealing with still being hurt, those of you who want to move on, but you don't know how to move on, those of you who need to heal, but you don't know how to heal, I'm bringing it to you. I'm dropping it in February, so you will see, lives like this, but you'll get notifications about it. It's going to be a little more formal. And those of you who are on my, my Biz Lab, I do like a presentation and all that. It'll be a little more formal, but I tell you, it will be amazing. And I'll be able to really share more of my life story with you and how you can build yourself back up. Like, you're never too old. You can build yourself back up. You can have that life. You can have that love. You can have that job. You can have that company. You can come back after losing it all. You can come back for everything that was stolen from you, everything that they told you can't have. I'm going to show you how you can get it back, how I was able to get it back. It's going to take work, but it's also a lot of people, they can't move because they don't even know. Just something as simple as you deciding to pop on this YouTube live and you deciding to give me a chance to listen to what I'm saying. It really could be life-changing. Okay, so all right, it looks like no one else has any more questions for me. So everyone, I will see you on the other side. Remember, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Be blessed. Join my group, Laptop, Wi-Fi, and Selly, and I will see you on the other side. I want you to be blessed. Have a good night.